Hey guys, Zuno coming from Essence of Zen here. Sorry for the weird setup type thing. I actually recorded this video earlier on camera, but had issues with the video, so I decided to do something really quick and to the point. So I want to bring up an issue with the team as well as the program TeamViewer. So if you're not aware, TeamViewer is a group that created the program TeamViewer that allows you to remotely access anyone else's computer who may have it, and you set up a password and code to connect, and allows you to have control over said device. Now, a few days ago, there was a security breach in TeamViewer. When the information got out, TeamViewer actually denied all forms of security breach, stating that it was the user's fault for having poorly constructed credentials via their accounts on other social platforms that hackers have gotten into that and then used to get access into their TeamViewer account. That's what really put a lot of the technology community in quite a stir. Now, if you go to this one particular post on Reddit, and it's the link will be in the description below. You can also see the URL here, but you can see all these links and things about the sheer number of people who had an issue with TeamViewer. One of the main issues behind this was that users reported breaches and lost thousands of dollars. And if you go and read comments by certain individuals, like everyday Joes, people who would use TeamViewer to help their parents out with devices and etc. But yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money. Matter of fact, one person lost, I believe, $1,500 with Amazon currency and PayPal digital gifts. Now, the idea behind a security, or any company for that matter, being in a security breach, that's not really a massive big deal, other than the fact that everyone needs to know so they can change their passwords and double check their security on various different profiles on various different platforms. What really has the community up in arms is TeamViewer's response to this. If you check out their first official statement here, you see the official statement blaming users' passwords. You'll see that their release talked about this, and they say that while they experienced things like a DDoS attack, a denial of service, it ruptured their DNS server infrastructure, but nothing too dangerous, and that they wanted to make three main points, saying that they experienced network issues that they fixed, there was no security breach, and they continued to work on data protection. And then, what's really backhanded is comments like this. Even though the server outage is not in any way related to below mentioned advice, TeamViewer would like to reaffirm the careless use of account credential remains to be a key problem for all internet services. This particularly includes the use of the same password across multiple user accounts with various internet services. Now, this statement within itself is actually quite correct. You shouldn't use the same password on multiple different platforms and accounts and etc. However, this is redundant due to the fact that the sheer number of people who've been having problems through TeamViewer, this is not every single last one of them is due to account leakage via other platforms. No, it's all directed to being an issue with TeamViewer. You have certain people, and I understand this is more like he said, she said thing, where people say, oh, well, I do not use the same password over in other places, where they possibly do. But the point still stands that if it is true that different people who say, but certain people state, they never use the same password, and even they were affected. And if you just read on people talking about how they were in the kitchen and they received a notification for PayPal that they got money back, it's really concerning. And again, it's not just that they had a security breach, supposedly, allegedly. I'm not gonna sit here like I know for 100% fact, even though the evidence is leaning towards the idea that they were indeed breached. That's not the issue. The issue is like how they just go about it. And again, this was posted. This particular statement was posted on the 1st of June. So today is the 3rd. They go through this whole thing stating how it's the user's fault, credentials and whatnot, and etc. After all the backlash and the sheer amount of people complaining and using their support lines because so many people, contacted them about these issues, they finally made a public reply, an actual open letter to their users. Now, I want you to read what this open letter says. Now, look carefully. They start out by showing that they're adding 2 new security features to further enhance the user data protection. Now, it doesn't start off by saying our apologies. It doesn't start off by saying, they had an issue. They don't start off saying anything. They just say, hey, we're a global pioneer of remote control and online collaboration software. Well on trusted devices and data integrity. 2 new security features to further enhance user data protection. And they follow this up with the actual, dear TeamViewer users, protecting your personal data is at the very core of everything we do. Again, no admittance to anything dealing with a type of breach. But then what really stands out is things like this, another section of their, of this post. As you have probably heard, there have been unprecedented large-scale data thefts on popular social media platforms and other web services providers. Unfortunately, credentials stolen in these external breaches have been used to access TeamViewer accounts as well as other services. So again, they're targeting this side notion, saying that all of these complaints, every single last one of the people who have had issues, breaches between their TeamViewer accounts, PayPal, Amazon, all this stuff, there's nothing touching with them whatsoever. None, nada, none, zip, kebab. That's disheartening, in my opinion at least. Again, there's a slight chance, a slight probable chance that they are exactly 100% innocent. It's a possibility that every single complaint and problem by these many users is through other avenues, but it doesn't seem like it. So then we can actually further check on what other people have found or did their research on, like this particular user, who state things like TeamViewer is being used as a vector of attack. This happens on other sites where they had no critical information, and within 48 hours, everyone's logged in sessions were logged out. An email was then sent around saying you had to click on the link to email to verify your ownership and set up a 2-factor authentication, as they knew they had been targeted. TeamViewer must know they are being targeted, and the stakes are high as the software allows complete access to a trusted machine. Basically a master key, and there hasn't been a single response from TeamViewer. Now, to point out this particular moment, what he's saying is, when he talks about like the 48 hours about the logged in sessions, this isn't talking about TeamSpeak. He's saying this has happened in other sites, and this was the response from those sites when stuff like this happens. However, with TeamView, they took this whole "not our fault, your problem" spiel. Now, again, well, maybe it's not their fault. Well, then let's look at the information that another user had found in terms of the authentication protocols through TeamViewer, where he makes a statement saying TeamViewer has only stated that the denial of service attack on their DNS infrastructure is unrelated to the concerns about their users' database being hacked. Statement of service outages, blah blah blah. They have not specifically denied that their user database has been compromised, right? And then we also look back above, the TeamViewer Management Console page had a flaw that leaked users' names and their existences, and it may be fixed by now. But those points within itself point to a very unsecure, well, I won't say very unsecure, but points to a possible hole that people who abuse the system got into their databases that way. Again, it's not 100% confirmed, but with the evidence presented, it is highly likely that they were indeed breached and compromised, especially when they don't outright say, we weren't compromised, everything is fine. They're just saying, your credentials are probably weak on other platforms. This is the whole, they're not lying to people, but they're not fessing up to truth or talking about the situations at hand. They're not being truthful. They may not be lying, but they're not being truthful. There is a fine difference between that line. Regardless of the fact, I highly recommend that anyone who uses TeamViewer Change your password. If you can close your account, close it. Double check all forms of other applications you may use: PayPal, Amazon, your bank account, your social media stuff, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff, your Gmail account, anything dealing with your emails. Double check them, possibly change them. You can find all of these links in our description below, and I highly recommend you share those links, this video, anything, with friends who you know use TeamViewer. The more people who know about this instance, it's increase a better chance of them not being affected by hackers and rogue cyber criminals. Share the video, share the links, tell your friends, especially if you know they use TeamViewer. Again, apologies for the offhanded way of doing the video. I wanted to get this up ASAP as soon as I heard this from Lewis. So please be safe on the internet. If you have any information that you'd like to share with us, any news, coverage, etc., put them in the comment section below. And remember, just be safe online. I've been Zeno, coming from Essence of Zen. I'll see you all in another video. But until then, as always, be safe. Take care.